Um, no need to be nervous. This is a safe space. Now, something that I realize is prevalent in today's time is anxiety and just the fear of talking to people overall. And everybody's had their battles with it, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. But ease your mind, because what if I told you talking to people is easy when you realize everybody has dirty laundry? Or whenever you meet somebody new, it's also their first time on this earth. Now, I could say that, and you could be like, how does this make it easier? How does this soothe my anxiety? It's not supposed to on paper, okay? It's just to give you something to think about. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your social skills. But when I say everybody has dirty laundry, everybody has something about themselves that they don't want on the forefront of when people meet them. So, whether that be an insecurity or just something that they want to hide. But I guess, no, I guess that's synonymous, right? Either way, with that being said, everybody is human. And I know that's a horrible way about going about things, about how to trying to aid your anxiety in conversations. Like, everybody's human, you should have no problem talking to them. But on the surface, I mean, what else can you say? Whenever somebody gets nervous when talking to other people or seeing other people, because I've been through that a large portion of my life, you are thinking the worst possible thing is going to happen to you when you open your mouth up and you speak. But there's this feeling of instant relief when you rip the band-aid off and you finally go and talk to them, whether that be a man or a woman, a dude you want to talk to because you want a new friend, or a girl you want to talk to because you're interested in, you think she looks good. The worst thing didn't happen. Now you're like, whoa, 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 what the hell? Huh? I gotta start doing this more often. Honestly, what helped me, it wasn't as a kid, but somebody told me this as an early teen. The less you speak, or the less, or, okay, so the saying, one, closed mouths don't get fed. Okay. And I'm a quiet person to this day. It spoke to me. But as I get older, I'm really realizing what that means. Every time you don't open your mouth and say something when you want to, when you need access to some information or a person, that is a missed opportunity. And for me, regret is not something that is on my agenda. I refuse to miss an opportunity because I couldn't open up my mouth. I can't even get that chance. Time is scarce. We get a finite time. We get a finite amount of time on this earth. So we got to use it wisely. So whenever you're thinking about not saying anything because you don't want to make a fool out of yourself, you don't want to make the spectacle out of yourself, you don't want to put yourself out there, put some urgency behind that thought too, because you might not get that chance forever. All right. And not in the way of where you rush the interaction. Now it doesn't sound genuine, but in a way it's like, okay, I'll just do it, whatever. And no matter what happens, I'll be okay. The worst possible thing is the less likely thing to happen. They're not going to get mad at you for trying to talk to them. If they do, fuck them. Okay? Fuck them. Don't actually do that, but like you know what I mean? Like all right, like all right, bro. All right, like you get what I mean though. Forget about them and then on to the next. You got to go on to the next. I'll be honest with you. Um, some other people, some men, I can't even say some, a lot of men struggle with some of this because of their addiction to the black and orange content. You know what I'm saying? I can't say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. The black and orange, the red and white, the all blue. I've been there. I was addicted to that material too. I didn't really have problems conversing with people at that time when I was really deep into that addiction, but I can see how it affects your conversation with women because whenever you try to talk to one, you'll just get an instant flashback of what you saw last night on your horizontal phone. That's no way to live life. Now you're scared to talk to them because your mind is only thinking about one thing, and that's not what's presented in front of you. So you know what you have to do. You have to give that up. You have to give it up. But just like anything, if you want to get better at something, if you want to do better, and get more efficient at something, you have to give something up. You have to sacrifice something. What it is, it depends person to person. It's always situational. For me, how I decided to get better at talking to people, I had to get rid of my ego. I had to realize that I'm not the main character in everybody's story. If something, an interaction doesn't go my way, then it's not the end of the world. It's not, because I'm still breathing. I can go and talk to somebody else right after this if I so please. Whoa, right? Now you start thinking about this shit differently. You put a lot of ease on your mind when you stop seeing things that, when you stop seeing your results as the end all be all to your life because it's not going to be. It's not. It will never be the end all be all. You get to keep on going, and that's a blessing. But very easy to get nervous because that's a new person that you're talking to, man or woman. Okay. Because you're thinking about, what do they think about me? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I stutter? What if they don't like my first impression? None of that matters. You're there. Do your best. You do your best every time. And then next interaction, you do better than that last. You do better than the prior. But guess what? You'll start to understand that when you finally rip off the band-aid. Because you can watch all the YouTube videos you want. You can watch all the self-help books you want. None of that is ever going to amount to that first-hand experience and that first-hand practice that you get from actual conversations with people. You especially need this if you're inside all day, you work at home, you don't get too much human interaction. You need all the practice that you can get so you can do this easily. You see a random stranger in the store while you're grocery shopping, compliment his shoes, strike up a conversation if you're genuinely interested in his clothes. You see a woman, her hair looks good, you like her vibe, you like her energy that she's bringing around, strike up a conversation. Look, I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. There is always an opportunity. There's always a chance where she could be like, oh, hell no. You. Boy, bye. Oh, what the fuck? But the world doesn't end. Dust yourself off. You fell down, dust yourself up, get up. On to the next one. It's okay. Keep going. The moment you lose is when you give up. I want you to remember that. There's no such thing as losing unless you give up. Because now you put yourself out of the running. Because anybody can run a race and they trip over their own shoelace. But that doesn't mean the race is over. They get up and they get back to running. Now that's completely different if they trip while they're running the race. And you just leave. It's like, oh, there's no more. There's no point. There's no point in running. Oh, what the fuck? you could have still ran that race. The last thing I want you to do is get up and leave the race. I want you to keep on running. That's all you can do. Failure is not an option. Losing is not an option. And I shouldn't be the one to tell you this. You should be telling yourself this. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself that. And while you're at it, tell yourself that you're bigger than what you see in the mirror. Everything that you want in this world is going to start with you. There's only so much blame that you can put onto other people. It all starts with you. So there's little things that you can work on so you can help start. So you can help getting the results that you want in life. Like talking to people. Getting better at talking to people. Mind you, this is all coming from a person who hates. And I mean hates. Hates talking to people. I'm naturally more introverted than anything else. But I know all the opportunities that I've gotten because I opened my mouth up. Pause. No matter what happens, I want you to tell yourself that it will be okay. Because it will. It's it can be overwhelming when you're talking to a new person, bro. It can be overwhelming trying anything new. But do I even have to say it again? It will be okay. Rip the band-aid off. There is no other time like the present. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Talk to that person. Talk to somebody tomorrow. Get good at this skill. Because you are the key to everything that you want in this world. And everything else, all the opportunities, everything that you might want, is the lock. And you're molding yourself to be the right fitting key. So next time you have your mouth shut, when you want something and you need to speak to get it, remember you are the only person holding yourself back. And this isn't me trying to force you, because ultimately you'll do a worse job if you try to force yourself to do something when you don't want to do it. It's like a little push, like you're riding a tricycle. Or not a tricycle. A bike with the training wheels. We gotta take the training wheels off. You've been using everybody else's key. Mold your own. Be your key. I got a key tatted on me, believe it or not. I don't know if you can see that. Niggas find any way to show off that tattoo. I'm glad I got to talk to you today. And I hope you have a good time talking to other people. You have a great night, day, whenever you see this. I'm glad you're still here. And I hope to see you again.